Hello, Cancer, and welcome to your November 2021 reading. Feel free to check out your sun, moon, and rising signs for a more well-rounded perspective. And if you would like something that is for you and your specific situation, feel free to check out the description box below for links to my website. All right, let's go ahead and begin. I have us leaving the month of October with Page of Wands. I feel like there is an overall sense of accomplishment or being on the cusp of accomplishment or awareness of accomplishment. So some things have kind of come together. It's not the sense of things being absolutely complete as much as trying to take in the perspective that enough was done and enough was completed, enough was accomplished. And you can use that as fuel or rekindling for the fire for whatever is next. So it's all about perspective. It's all about reflecting on what has transpired in the month of October. And there's definitely a sense of really being reflective on what has happened and transpired and what you can kind of do, like a list or a bullet point of as far as what has happened, and just trying to find within the list or find within whatever you put together what you can kind of set aside and say, all right, I can use this, I can build on this, I can work from this, I can use the embers or the warmth or the coals or the fire flames from these few things, and I can use that to continue to build bigger fires and to expand into the month of November. So it's really trying to reflect on the month of October, see what it has rendered and what you can use from that as far as moving through the month of November and whatever may be possible for you to continue moving on. We're following this with a 5 of Wands, and I feel that the reason why this is taking place is because you are entering the month of November with an awareness of potential chaos. And when I say chaos, it's just kind of an overall sense. It's not completely a clusterfuck, so to speak, as much as you're just aware of things are not going to be orderly anytime soon. So whatever you may have considered regarding the month of October, whatever you may have felt did or didn't happen or transpire or be completed, one of the reasons why you're trying to get all the proper ducks in a row is because you feel like this is still going to, whatever energy that was going on in the month of October, you are already aware that that's going to still kind of take place in the month of November. So you're aware that that thing or things that made it so that everything that you wanted didn't transpire is still going to be present in some facet on some level in the month of November, and you're just trying to hedge your bets, so to speak. Kind of make it so that you are prepared and you can still sort of meander your way around the chaos or around the events that might stall or push back on things that you're trying to accomplish through the month of November, so that by the time you finish the month of November, you're not going to feel like it was an absolute wash. You can still feel like some of the things were, transitioned or transpired that you had hoped or had taken some steps to some degree that make you feel that things have still happened, at least in some movement forward, and it wasn't completely stalled. So I hope that makes sense. So essentially, you're trying to be reflective on the month of October, trying to look at what has been accomplished and what has happened, and hopes that you can use that to continue to fuel yourself forward as you move through the month of November, because a lot of the energy that you felt and a sense of resistance and chaos through the month of October is going to still be rippling a little bit into the month of November, and can potentially make you feel like you're being paused or pushed back or resisted, and you're just trying to make sure that you're prepared, properly prepared, and you can, like I said, weave around. And I really get the overall sense of weaving, because as you can see, this particular crow or raven is in front of this arrow, but is half behind this arrow. So there's a bit of a weaving around the energy and movement that's happening around you, just kind of trying to not just move with the flow per se, as much as maybe weave in and out of it so that you are impacted as little as possible from the flow of energy that is around you that's not yours. The Knight of Cups is what we're coming in with the end of the month, and I feel like there's just, you're hoping to maintain a sense of peace through it all. You're hoping that you can weave your way through this flow of energy that you have felt throughout October, possibly earlier than that you feel is going to remain through the month of November. You're hoping you can weave and meander your way through that so that you can connect with an overall sense of peace and well-being that allows you to not succumb to the chaos, but rather feel like you have come to the other side of it as best you could. I'm really struggling with the word, so I feel like whatever is going on, when this happens, when I'm really struggling, like I can get a sense for it, but the sense that I'm getting is from an energetics perspective. It's not really a sense that can be adequately expressed through words. So this, whatever I'm feeling, it just feels like there's such a force of energy that you can't really name one thing. You can't really put your finger on one thing or point something specific out. It's just an overall sense of things happening around you and kind of being pervasive within your life. And you have to just kind of move and shift and adjust accordingly, be flexible. And you've been doing that. You've been trying your best to stay on top of it from that perspective. And the thing that leads you through it, and it's kind of been your stronghold or your sense of well-being, is that you're not, you just want to be able to get to the other side of this with a sense of peace. So whatever it takes to be able to get to the other side of this with a sense of peace is what you are focusing on, while still being true to yourself, while still being true to your morals, your ethics, your foundation, however that is applied to you. But overall, it's just, there's this kind of weird, chaotic energy sense of some sort, and it's just sort of making it so that even when I'm trying to speak about the situation, I'm stumbling over my words. So this is sort of an expression from me coming through. Like this is an expression of what you're experiencing coming through in my stumbling and in my difficulty of speaking. It's a representation in some facet of what you are experiencing and what you're going through. And the cards are being laid out, and it's showing all of this as the sense of, or as a way of validating what you're seeing and letting you know that those who you have been connecting with, whether in prayer, meditation, or whatever the case may be, whatever spiritual path that you're on, your ancestors, those who look after for you, they're basically letting you know that they are aware of this. They are validating your sense that you're going through. They feel that the approach that you're taking is a wise one. That, sort of getting all your ducks in a row, trying to look at it from a positive perspective, trying to help yourself weave around the chaos that's not caused by you but by external forces, so that you don't succumb to it, so that you can maintain a sense of peace in your decision making that still holds true to your personal values. They see you working through this. They approve of how you're working through this. They're here still for you. They still have your back, but this is just the way life is right now, and this is just the way that you are approaching it and how you are weaving around it is they approve of it, so to speak. They feel that you are doing what you're supposed to be doing, and you're supporting yourself exactly how you're supporting yourself. And you'll know this when you get to the other side, when you can feel like you've gotten to the other side of it and you feel like you've maintained that sense of morality, that sense of chivalry through it all. So when you think of, our romanticized, storyized version of a knight, they have morals, they have ethics, they have standards, and no matter the circumstances, they hold to those. No matter what's going on, they hold to those. And so this is sort of a way of them saying that not only are you correct in the way you're approaching, not only you're correct in your sense of wanting to get to the other side of this in hopes that you'll eventually be able to hold the peace. You'll hold the peace as you work through it and hold the peace as you get to the other side, but also ensuring that whenever you're going through this, you're making sure that you're holding on to your sense of morals and ethics that are true to who you are, to your very core. They have your back, even in those moments where you feel like it's so chaotic and you don't feel like you feel them, you don't feel like you can sense them being near. They're near, they're watching you, but these are all forces that are pretty much out of your control. There are other things that are happening. It's all external. And so the ripple effects of those external events are rippling into your life, and you're moving as best you can through them. And they see you, they're watching over you, and they feel like you're doing a good job while you're going through this. We're ending with the card the Veil. And so I feel like this is coming through with that message that I said when I said how you're going through moments, and when you feel like you don't feel them as much, you feel like you are not as aware of their presence. They are there even when you aren't aware of their presence. They are actually there watching you, looking over you. That sense of there being a veil, I feel like this is validating that there is a veil. The other half of this card says the future. So there's something that this is building towards. There's something that you are moving in the direction to. And there's something that you are working for or towards. And so all of this is going to kind of come to a conclusion or come to a head. And so I feel like that's something that might not be totally understood by you. Like the end results of that might not be understood, or the conclusion of it, or the end. Well, I said end results already, but basically, you know what you're working for, but you don't know what you're working for, or you have a sense of what you're working for, but you don't have absolute clarity on that. And that also ties in with, like I said, I feel like there's an overall sense that sometimes you feel like you don't feel their presence as much. And overall, this is coming in with the message that even when you don't feel them, they see you, they're still there, they still have your back. There is a veil, and I feel like there's this message of the veil is to let you know that veil is on purpose. I don't have privy to what that purpose is. That may be because this is a generalized reading, and so I can't touch base on what that purpose is, because that purpose is going to be different for each and every one of you, because each of you are on your own path. But the veil that you feel that is there, that is giving you a sense of separation, that's not your imagination. There is a veil. There is a reason for that veil. But don't get too focused on the veil. That's not part of the story right now. That's not part of the experience that you're supposed to be focused on. What you need to be focusing on is make sure you are maintaining that sense of value and morality and ethics that you have always maintained, and that is a core part of who you are as you continue to meander through this. And know that even when you feel like you don't feel that your ancestors or your deities near, they are near. They're still watching out for you, but they really don't need to do a whole lot right now, because you're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing at this point in time. All right, Cancer, that is all I have for you for this month. I hope that this reading was everything you were hoping for and more. Be sure to check out your sun, moon, and rising for a more well-rounded perspective. And if you would like something that's a bit more personal to you and your situation, feel free to check out the link box below for links to my website. Other than that, I hope you have a beautiful month, and I will see you in the next one.